All right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back this Monday, February 9th. Great to have all of our students and members just rejoining us here directly inside our live trading room. Farzad, Nabil, Leda, you got Doug, you got Michael just before Roberto. A few more of us just joining us here. Debbie as well. Great to have all of us back here inside our room. Great to have all of us back on social. There we go. Popping up lower left. Just at Cyber Trading You if you are new to our channel, stream, YouTube, social media alike, all of the which. But either way, though, heading into the afternoon, we are working with a very strong market. For as much as Bitcoin dropped, it still has a lot of recovery room to do. U.S. assets go in terms of S&P 500, Dow. I think Dow broke new highs like earlier this morning. But nonetheless, though, what a recovery we've had on the SPY. We're back over that past level that we were looking to see flip into support. Well, now at this stage, I think that we're looking really good up towards 700. I just took a few extra shakes compared to what I thought it would do. And it dipped around this back in the end of January, and that's where I thought it would hold better. It tried to, and then we had a big drop off going into last week. So hopefully that's the end of it. Hopefully we are on the up and up, back up, and on the way up to 700 for SPY. I know that there is divergence between SPX and SPY in terms of like 7,000 and 700. It's not going to be the exact same, but it is just to say though, hey, SPX, I think it already hit 7,000 back on the 28th. So that's where there's probably going to be a little resistance even on SPY at 700, but they're not the exact same price level. It's not one-to-one all the way through. But either way, markets are looking very strong. Now, real quick, let me just ask our students here, Michael, Tim, Leda, Debbie, Farzad, Nabil, what stocks are you currently swing trading? I just want to hear from everybody. Just, small group discussion. What stocks are you currently in? See on the top right of my screen right there, at least the IBRX, the Zoom, those are my two swing trades. Is Wolf going to be the third? I don't know. Either way, I'm happy with where we're at on Wolf. I'm going to keep that as a day trade for the time being, but who's in what? I want to hear from our students here. Gerard, great to hear from, and he's in on Palantir. Kevin with Fausto on the MSTR, derivative. Glenn on LEU, which you told me about. I remember that there, Glenn. I remember that there now that you bring it back up. So LEU, nice, holding of support back up today, nearly 5%. What else, folks? Lee still in on the Chipotle trade. Killed it on that going into the end of last year, and that's still holding afloat. Nice. Farzad on SLV, which that was on the morning list today. That's up 7+%. Nabil was talking about the Jobby. That's from Nabil's entry in from 920. Wow, really nice. And was that like pre-market? That could have been like pre-market at least otherwise, but strong bounce. Yeah, last week. Okay, so that could have been pre-market. Excellent. Wow. Tim with me on the IBRX. He's also in on that UAMI, which he's a big fan of. That's one of the rare earth precious metal stocks. Bill, just for reference, NVIDIA, Cold, those definitely in his rotation, and SAN. Point being, folks, there's a lot moving today, and the markets have been up. And at least for the stocks that have had healthier long-term charts of late, those are the ones that you want to look for some good opportunities on. So, am I in on the MSTR? I'm not. I was actually watching IBIT at the exact same time that Fausto was jumping in on the MSTU. And I was actually looking for one last little nip down on IBIT, and I was going to pull the trigger. I was here at my desk waiting to see that happen, and it just bounced without me sooner. But point being, though, is that there's so much out there. Don't overwhelm yourself. But at least for the time being, what we'll do in just a moment is go right from top to bottom here. But Wolf, it's one of the ones that we've been talking about as a day trade, just in our trading room just before. So, this has had a choppy chart recently here. I had a nice little profit on this earlier, but I could have done better. It's just to say, if it ends up trying to come back up, if it shows better signs of life, well, then it kind of reinvigorates the thought of jumping back in at least as a day trade. This was meant as a day trade at first, but when you look at the long-term graph, this Wolf is knocking on the door historically in terms of like resistance back in October, November, December, and then really here. So if this really wants to blast higher today, and if it holds higher lows and holds this as support here, perhaps, I think that there's a good case to try and see a better move. So, Wolf, it's up a lot today. It's kind of the shinier object in the room in terms of percent gainers list wise. And that's probably what we'll gravitate towards more at first, as long as it has a good order book, good spread, which this definitely has. So for the time being, let's see what we just got. I mean, the name of the game is we just don't want to build up too big of a watch list. Like BRLS, just popped before, broke a new high going into 2 o'clock. Is this as healthy of a long-term graph as, Wolf? So we'll come back to this if it wants to try and get back up and over, like pretty much here. If it gets back up and over 170-ish, then I'll put this on our list. But for the time being, if it doesn't, it might turn out like the UOKA, and that's kind of where we just write these trades off. The small cap, low float stocks. PLBY we'll come back to even at the end of this meeting. This is near the highs, don't get me wrong, but this is almost like too slow. You know what I mean? This is almost like too slow. If you're looking for like one final push into the close, your best pop was here at 11:45 in the morning, pushed up like 15 cents. Is that really worth it? There might be something faster that's more worth our time. So I'd probably get a lot of these ETFs on the gainers list here either way. APPX is the ETF for AppLovin. So, this is actually a good vehicle to trade the AppLovin trade on, APPX. It's a little bit less expensive, right? And at least the volume checks out for this trade, the spread. So, at least I don't mind adding this for the time being. We don't really trade AppLovin too often, let alone the APPX. So I'll give that a look. IRE going with IREN. So, IREN more within our price range either way. So I'll add that. I'll also go with the IRE, both. Yeah, Oracle, you got CoreWeave. I mean, a lot of these trades performing pretty good. Maybe they're not like directly at the highs, but they're up percentage wise. So, you got to give all of these just a quick look across the board. As long as it has a good spread, good liquidity out there on the order book, that's something I'd be more of a fan of. Gold, not bad chart at all today. CIFR is likely going with the wolf. So I'm not normally a fan of these Bitcoin mining stocks going into the afternoon. Let me just take a look on Bitcoin here first, and then we'll take a look at the other Bitcoin mining stocks, because those normally don't do too great for the afternoon sessions. Listen, BTC is going up, but with that, as much as I like IREN, as much as I like Wolf, in a minute, as much as I like the CIFR, which I really like the long-term graph for CIFR still, had some wicked shakes, but there's a chance for this to try and blast back up here. Normally, these stocks don't run into the afternoon, into the next 85, 80 minutes to go. Just 99 out of 100 times, right? Like we said last week. So, what name is this company? Largo. That's where I'm from right now. It's where I reside currently here in Florida. Largo. Interesting. Stock is up 13%. Again, this one's kind of like the Playboy. It's like a little too slow even. It's inching up, don't get me wrong. You could do this on maybe 10,000 shares and like try and make a penny or two. But there might be better. I think that there should be better. Roblox at the high of the day, but again, it's not really moving that great for a $74, $75 stock in terms of volatility. Good market day today for it. Feed. RCAT had a good move early today. Nasty shake, but it did recover. It does have some good volume on the book. Tight spread. You will see some icebergs on this one. I don't mind kind of putting this to the backside of our watch list right now. We'll probably put ones that are stronger near the highs or maybe ready to pop higher. But right now I'll give this a little bit of a look, see where it goes. Rare earth precious metal stocks, as we had said before. So CRML, USAR, This one's like a little choppy today. It's at the highs, don't get me wrong, but something like UBC is like looking better right now. So if we were to prioritize some of the precious metal, rare earth stocks, like something like CRML right now going into the afternoon, something like the UEC right now going into the afternoon, a couple of decent trades. I don't mind those two at all. And if you're in on any of the others, I'm rooting you on. You might be in from a low price and riding those out. So rising tide's going to lift all boats, or well, that's a lie. Rising tide's going to lift most boats. We've learned not all boats from last week. PayPal, HIMS, Affirm. With the market bouncing back up, not every trade is really benefiting from it. So what did we just say? The UEC trade, and then what was that other one? The CRML. We said those two. EPLD. Listen, I know a few of us love this stock. If you caught it from early this morning, then you might put it on your personal list. Core is another Bitcoin mining stock seemingly up today. That's pretty strong. There's my IBRX. If I put this on our list, I'm not putting it on our list just because I'm in it. I mean, we've been on this trade since mid January, right on the 14th. That was the first day that we traded it. Right here, this one. But otherwise, though, the stock is up more than 5%. It's at the high of the day. Doesn't have really too big orders for it to break over, but the spread's pretty tight. I'll add it. What else? What else? What else? AMD. That's at the high of the day. Pushing higher as we speak. NVIDIA, not so much. Don't get me wrong. This could easily continue today, tomorrow, this week. But AMD hot hand right now. We'll go that, and we'll go the AMDL. Listen, we don't need to build up too big of a list. I'm sure there's a lot that's up right now. EOS having a good day today. I do like that stock. USAR. I mean, we have the other metals and rare earth stocks on there for right now. Circle going up with Bitcoin, right? Listen, there's a lot. Just as long as it has good volume and it's near or at the highs, and you like it, then you put it on your personal list. But for about 112 of us live right now inside our trading room, we're going to curate at least the list based on what looks to be the best, based on what we have here on the gainer side. So we're going to start with that initially. Then we'll kind of cut a couple off and rotate a couple in. But I mean, again, not everything moving up with the market today. I don't know who this company is. KD, Kevin Durant? No. Kindrill Holdings, nonetheless. This thing is down 55%. PGY. This thing's also getting beat up today. Obviously, we know HIMS. HIMS did lead to a good squeeze. Just want to mention that. Good day trade type move. Could be a swing trade move in due time, but for right now, I would have only made this a day trade if you jumped in. But broke triple top here right off 1790, 1780. Big volume level from pre-market going into the open. Cleveland Cliff, CLF, just want to take a look there. Not really near the lows enough, so. All right, we'll do last call here across the gainer side. For any of us inside our live trading room right now, Bell, Leda, Kathleen, Gerard, Thomas, Farzad, let me know if there's anything else looking good from your side. Like we said before, this BRLS, not looking that great, really, to be honest with you. Now it pulled back down here, and if it gets back up and above that 170, we'll call it out. I'd rather focus on something, at least for the time being. This is pushing back up. Maybe this does try and flip resistance into support, push higher. It's already up 80%, but it's a cheap stock. So, if the wheels are really spinning on this type of trade, then we could easily see it make like 160, 200+% move. This thing took a huge hit back when. That was mid-December. $1.06, right around 105, 106, kind of wicked up there, then right back down. And it's pretty much testing that currently. So the more it knocks on that door, I think there is a case to see a squeeze. So we'll go with it here, CCHH. Playboy, slow, flat. I think we're done with this one. All right, folks. Hey, let me know if anything else is looking good. From Mitesh here and Bill, I think we got a couple of us maybe. Oh no, Bill, I think you were just replying back from before, right? Swing trades. Yeah, I mean, listen, DT, if you're in from a lower price already, if you're swing trading that, rooting you on, stock's up 8.6% today, and it doesn't have a bad spread. Bad spread. But in terms of volatility, this might be a little slow going into the close. That's all for for a $36 stock at least. So this could be a good swing trade, I'm sure. Mitesh, I see that you're a trial member testing our room after this week. So obviously rooting you on this trade. And with that, we'll just check in with it maybe over time. But we're going to focus on some stocks that have a little bit better life. And I don't mean that like long term. I mean that for the next hour and 15 minutes. So we're going to try and day trade most of these stocks going into the close, and that's pretty much it. I appreciate you joining us though, Mitesh, and any of our trial members testing our room out for this week. I see Eric here, Russ here, Kemi here, David here, a bunch of us. Tom, you got Paul, you got Joseph just before. I saw him in our Traders Talk workshop. So keep in mind, this is a good week for you to join us, especially in earnings season. It's a good litmus test to see, is this something that is compatible with me, compatible with my style of trading, what these guys here are talking about. Guys and gals. All right. Lastly, before we finish up, Benzinga Pro, we'll check out anything else that might be going ballistic here, maybe on the side. I don't think I added CIFR to our main list. Oh, no, I did. Okay. This one I actually put on our main list here. Good. All right. That, we got the app loving ETF. So we're not going to trade $500 or $467 app. We'll go with the ETF, $14.65 APPX. Sold. Deal. I think everything else, though, I think we touched on. Pretty much everything else is flat. We're not really showing as much life over the last 20, 30, 40 minutes. So, all right. So, hey, I think, folks, we'll call it for right now. We'll be back on our microphone here going into 3 o'clock, shortly after 3. We'll be back on taking you into the afternoon. All right. But otherwise, on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, etc., popping up lower left, last chance, at least for today, certainly not this week. Join us directly, though, on social media. Follow the account at CyberTradingU. Hit the follow or subscribe button down there. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. I think there was some scam going around. I think I realized someone emailed Fausto asking for my direct deposit information. I was freaking out. I was like, what the hell's going on here? And I think I linked it to LinkedIn. So be careful on LinkedIn, fellows. I mean that. There might be someone going around trying to scam people on LinkedIn, reaching employers, asking for contact and deposit information. Pretty sketchy. Later here, Chris. Ooh, sorry about that. Just as we wrap up. Circle, not CR. Circle, yeah, I just kind of glanced on it here across the gainer side, Chris. So it is moving up nicely. If Bitcoin pops higher, I'm sure that will look to make a good move. So just another stock we'll kind of keep on our side list for the time being. Coinbase is up a little bit today. MSTR is holding support. Hood, up there too. So all of them are kind of grouped kind of together there. Roiv, yeah, it's up today. I think it's breaking all-time highs still, right? Yeah, really strong swing trade. This Roiv, I have been on top of this Roiv trade. Well, I haven't been on top of it, at least where I should have been. But ROIV, I've known this to be a potential trade for a long time now. I mean, really since 2024. Basically, here's a tweet I made. First time looking at Roiv stock, Vivek founded largely into gene enhancement. And this is back in like 2024. So this trade had a Fausto flag, and essentially it ended up breaking it over time. Held resistance pretty well, higher lows, payoff, right? Yeah, so strong swing trade. If you're already in that, rooting you on. All right, folks. So, hey, best of luck trading going into the close, folks. You'll get rich on the